And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, what's up everyone, and we're back today with another video. This time, as you can guess by when you clicked on it, the Waffle E100, a tank that's never actually shown up on the channel, I'm pretty sure, unless you go back to the non-commentary days. I don't think it's been videos put up on it, so here it is. This thing was recently quote-unquote nerfed last Tuesday, yeah. As part of the Valor rollout, and doing changes of 2 or 3 tanks every 2 weeks. And I've seen a lot of backlash on this tank. I'm not going to try to make this a preaching video. You know I'm not about that. But I've saw, and a lot of us have, a lot of backlash on, oh, you nerfed this thing to oblivion, oh, it wasn't that overpowered, all that fun stuff with the 6-shot autoloader. And basically, what happened to it, if you don't already know, which unless you're living in a rock, but on console it was the 128mm was reduced from 6 shots to 4 shots, with the subsequent reload reduction from, I believe, like 60 seconds down to 50 seconds. And then the 150mm, which is what I'm rocking here, was reduced from 4 shots to 3 shots. And then the reload was knocked down to 40 seconds, which is, with mine fully kitted out, it's around 37-ish, 36 seconds, something around that. But with the 150mm, they also buffed the inner clip speed as well. So now it's only 2 seconds in between dumping these 150mm 750 alpha shells, which I must say is very disgusting in practice. Just to put that in perspective, a tank that has the very similar damage output, without a turret, is the Fox 155, which has a 3-shot autoloader as well, optional. That has, I believe it's 5 seconds between shells. I don't own one, but I'm pretty sure I've heard that number thrown around. And it has no turret and worse gun handling. I don't know all the stats on the gun handling on this one, and the AP is pretty low, as I do fire a lot of heat in this freaking thing, as we are just going to annihilate that ISM and then put one into the Conqueror and roll on out of here. And yeah, you can see the reload is great on this thing so far, and that's why I'm not, when I say quote unquote nerf, I don't really see it as a nerf, and many of the other good players I've talked to see it more as a buff almost. Yes, you can't go out and just clip somebody for 3,300 and then, yeah, you can't do that. But what you can do is put yourself into the fight a lot more, as we make SC-101. Really wish he had a turret. Congratulations, he put 1 shot into me, but then we just take him out. But that's the biggest thing, is with the 120mm before, it wasn't that it was ever necessarily overpowered. Something overpowered would be like the Panzer 5.4. It was more, at least in my opinion, and others, broken. And I've seen this happen so much in this, what is it, 4 or 5 years that this tank has been in the game. Of just average anybody going around a corner with 6 shots, usually full APCR, because just that's what Waffles do, it seems like, and just completely annihilating somebody, or even 2 tanks, and then they die. It was never, I always liked the reaction as we were going to just annihilate this guy, and this is with 150mm, it's still just so devastating. Yeah, he is gone. He's gone. You can see that in clip reload speed. But the main argument I've seen on like the Facebook group, stuff like that, is, oh, the Waffle's not hard to take out. It's so easy to kill. It's not about it being hard to kill or anything like that. It's just it was a broken, at least my opinion, totally my opinion, broken mechanic that was just kind of game breaking. Is that you could have any player, no matter what, just load full APCR on 128mm and have 6 shots, and 33 on clip potential, and you can clip out any tank at tier 10 in the game, and just YOLO out and do that. You can still clip out most of the tanks. You're just not going to clip out like anything above 2200 HP with either gun, and both guns are still fine now. I know Swindle has got this thing, and he's running the 128 on it, and is doing fine with that as well. Because just the biggest thing is, the reason I've never featured the Waffle and never really played it beforehand, was simply because we were just waiting around for a minute doing absolutely nothing. So you'd have so many games where you may get one clip off and the game is over. Now, with that much shorter reload, with this gun, you're almost like essentially a bat chat, much bigger, 150mm in terms of the reload speed. But you're able to be part of the battle more, and your tank's almost more effective now because you're not just ineffective for 7.5 minutes, or 7 minutes, let's say that, if you're firing every minute. Like, it's just, you're in the fight more. And that's what we like about it so far, at least people that I've played it and I talked to, as we put some into the 60 TP. Unfortunately, our first one, that is an issue with this tank. With the 150mm is, one, the lack of pen on the AP shells, and you're going to fire some heat. It's just the case of it, but like I said, every Waffle player I almost ran across beforehand with the 128mm fire all APCR. So, yeah. Here's the important play of this game, though, figuring the game a little bit. I have to spot these guys in the cap, so I have to put the binos up. Really risking getting just crapped on by artillery right now, and luckily the 48 Patton obliges to shoot us. Get spotted. I don't know if that was me or Joker, but we were able to spot him in the cap. He backs out. We get shot again by the T95. That's fine. We need to put this guy, put these shells right into his lower plate. We do. Get a shot of the 48 Patton, and we do. And that was a really good base reset right there by us, and some teamwork. Now it's lucky the RD is not going to sit crap on our day there. As you see, we're already up to 6 kills and 8,600 damage, and the game's not even halfway over. The match timer. And that's the thing I like about it now, is you're actually engaged in the matches more, rather than just sitting around snoring for a minute at a time, waiting for your tank to reload. It's so annoying in this thing. And that's the reason I didn't play it much, because I just found it so damn boring to play, because you would get maybe a clip off. Sometimes you'd have that epic game where you'd get several clips off with a long-lasting result, but how often did those happen? Not much. Versus now, you can generally get several clips off a game. You always pen everything because you either have low AP or heat rounds, which can be derpy and poor gun handling. Yeah, sometimes that happens. But I'm really enjoying it more now than I ever had before, personally. And I'd highly recommend, if anybody just said this tank just another waste of my time, to really try to give it another shot. Whether that's with either gun, that's regardless. I'm just for the 150 because, I think it's the superior gun right now, just because of that inner clip speed that is on it and the shorter reload time. But either gun is still viable at this point, and you may actually find you like it. At least I do, and so other people that I've played with have. Again, it's all opinion based, so whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but just to throw my opinion out there on this tank a little bit. And yeah, it's it's hilarious to play with the 150mm you have. I think it's like 2250, I believe, on the clip for this thing. And like I said, you can still clip out basically every tier 10 that has 2200 hit points or less. It's just disgusting. And they're gone in poof, like a second as our 6TP dies. And you saw this game, like it's filthy, and you really can put more shells downrange, and that's always such a nice thing to do. rather than having to just wait around and fall asleep for a minute at a time. But like I said, it's an interesting tank change. I think I like it. Obviously, that's not obvious. As he finished off the T92, he's still reloading for our 7th kill of that game, and probably around 9,500 damage because we had a blind shot on the T95. So, just a couple of my thoughts on the Waffle. If you kind of just abandoned it so far, I highly recommend giving it another shot. You may actually like it more, possibly. If you go with that mindset of, hey, I'm actually more engaged in the fight than I ever was before in terms of the reload. But yeah, the tank's, I don't want to say better, but almost is. But yeah, again, tomorrow will be a compilation from Twitch, some of the streams, funny moments, stuff like that. So if you guys do enjoy that, get a laugh out of it. And hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. See you.